This is part 3 of my series of videos on the signaling system that I installed on my layout. First 2 videos gave you a pretty good idea of how they work and how they're connected. They were at that time just sitting on a big piece of wood on a couple benches on my layout room, but I've spent now the last almost 2 months wiring them actually into the layout, on the layout itself. As I mentioned on the earlier videos, there are 15 ESP 8266 computers, each one connecting to 2 signals. So there's a total of 30 signals. And I'll show you a little bit here in this video of the implementation, how I actually put it into the layout. So here's a view just of a corner of my layout. It just shows a couple of the signals. There are 2 there on the high line coming in to college. I'll show you how they're actually wired. Down here I built several breadboards like this. This one here holds 5 ESP 8266s and also a little buck converter dropping a 15 volt AC, which is my switch track bus, dropping that down to 3.3 volts. 3.3 volts then runs the 8266s. The 8266s, each one's connected to 2 signals through a 8-wire cable. I found some nice cheap 8-wire 30 gauge cable, and each of the 8266s is wired through one of those 8-wire cables and goes out underneath the layout, comes up through the base of the signal. So you can see here, this is a signal that's actually flat on the layout. You can't see the holes. There's 2 3/8-inch holes underneath each signal, and the wires to the LEDs come up through those holes. So there are 8 wires coming to this pair of signals, and there are 4 wires going up into each signal. So I'll show you another one. This breadboard just has 3 ESP 8266s on it. Has the 3.3 volt power supply, and this one also happens to have a 5 volt power supply. 5 volts is used by my RFID detector circuit, and that used to be just hanging in the midair or in a corner, and I kind of mounted it up so it's mounted a little bit nicer. Here's one of the signals that starred in my earlier videos. This is signal 10 in this direction and signal 9 in the other direction. In the earlier videos, you saw how I had my 8266 just sitting on top of the layout, wires going everywhere. Cleaned it up a whole lot now. Looks much, much better. All the wires go underneath. And here's the control breadboard for that signal pair 9 and 10, and also for signal pair 13 and 14. So on this breadboard there are just 2 8266s along with the power supply. In the next video I'll show you the layout with a single train running around it, and I'll show you how some of the signals react to that train.